Welcome everyone to the Sim Experience Round 3 of the 2022 Porsche Supercup, coming to you live from Kyalami in Gauteng in South Africa. We're now heading into a 15-minute qualifying. It is wet, so we have a wet rolling background just to let you know how wet it actually is. Drivers are going to have to adapt tonight. They're going to be driving a wet qualifying and a drying race, so hopefully the race will start off a bit wet and become a bit dry. We'll see a few pit stops, and that will also bring a few different drivers to the front. Tonight I'm supposed to be joined by Sean Woodgate, but unfortunately I am your commentator, Dennis Mitchell. Sean is not here yet due to errors on my part with server issues and that, so we are running very late. We weren't even going to make tonight, but we've managed to get a server up and running. Got around some of the problems, so we are up and running, not ideally, but we are here. Hopefully Sean can make it and join the Discord and join us for commentary shortly. So until then, I will be alone. So of course this is round 3 of our 8-round championship. Following round will be round America, then we head off to Red Bull Ring in Austria, then Suzuka in Japan, yes, Marina, and then finally Zandvoordt. So quite a nice championship ending. Let's have a look at our championship standings, and perhaps while that's happening I'll put the actual driving on the back. Looks like the track has actually dried slightly. It looks like it's only damp. Okay, so currently our championship leader is Jason Underwood for Team Harder Racing on 206 points. Jean-Andre de Toy in second place on 191 points of PZN panel beaters. Jean-Andre de Toy, Jean-Andre Dippenaar for also PZN panel beaters, 185 points. Then Chris Collison, Andre Hildebrandt, Dani Stander, Basil van Rijn, Monet de Toy, Gilly Silver, Hannes Besson, Harvey Goos, Wilro Dippenaar, Sean Olivier, Bjorn Buchner and Marius van Wyk. Alright, so let's head into qualifying. Let's just get rid of that. Sorry for now. Slight error on my part there. Alright, let's get it back up. I'm missing a few drivers. Not sure where everyone is. I guess due to the problems with the server, some drivers weren't too sure if it was happening tonight or not. We've been down for several days, but we are back up. As of several hours ago, we managed to get a server up and running again. So, just over 13 minutes left remaining. Of course, the championship is brought to you by Alwin Automotive Glass. So if you need any automotive glass or aluminium, head over to www.alwin.co.za. I'm going to keep checking just to see if Sean joins the Discord. If he does, I will drag him in here, but at the moment he is not there. So Sean, if you're watching the YouTube channel, perhaps you can jump into Discord and come give us some feedback with your experience of Kyalami. Guess I'm a bit ahead of myself saying Kyalami. Of course, this particular track is the amazing work of a modder by the name of Prototype, aka Dale Best. He's done this absolutely amazing mod for us, and he's still busy working on Kyalami as well as Swartkorps. We're hoping to hear from Dale today, but perhaps we will hear from Dale in a coming round. Also, due to all the uncertainties around this round, it hasn't quite gone to plan. So currently we have no time set on the board according to our timing board. We have Jean-Andre Dippenaar heading towards the line. Oh, getting hit completely sideways there. Now the track is meant to be wet. I'm not sure if it's just mixed conditions at the moment or if it's drying or what, but it certainly does not look too wet. It looks overcast though. So I'm not sure if the server has decided to change the weather or what has happened, but no rain at the moment. As we're currently watching Jason Underwood. We were watching Jason Underwood, we're now watching Donnie's Thunder. Apologies for that. Get a bit of onboard. It definitely looks like it's dry. And the lap times definitely reflect a dry track. Especially with Jason's current time of a 46.044, our current provisional pole setter. Jean-Andre Dupinal currently up by a 10th in Sector 1 though. Let's see if he can come through with us. And now go to Jean-Andre Dutoy, who's also personal best, but he's a little way off. So let's head back to Jean-Andre Dupinal and see how his lap is unfolding. Perhaps we can go on board with him and get a bit more of a... if the camera would give me control, which it won't. I have to fight the camera sometimes. Went up in the first sector, almost 3 tenths down, so he's about 2 tenths shy of the overall time at the moment. But just the right amount of curve there, hopping over that. One of the sliders using the lift off oversteer to rotate the car there. What's the time going to be? Half a second off. Lost a lot in the last sector. Slowly changing positions. Chris Collison is currently third. In fourth place we have Jean-Andre Dutoy. In fifth place Bjorn Buchner. Now in sixth place we have Marius van Wyk. Donnie Stander in seventh place. Andre Hildebrand currently only in eighth place. That's a bit of a surprise, but he hasn't yet done a lap time, so I guess that's why. And in ninth place Morne Dutoy. Perhaps while we're looking at this, we could have a quick look at our championship standings. For those that didn't catch it, oops, sorry, I did not mean to show you that. So we have several of our drivers that aren't here at the moment. So at the moment we have Basil van Rijn not here, Gilly Silver not here, Hannes Besson not here, Harvey Goos not here, Ulrich Dupinal not here, Sean Olivier not here. So quite a few drivers not here as we see Marius van Wyk in the background heading into the barrier. Of course Rian van der Westhuizen still not here, he's currently in hospital, so Rian, our thoughts are with you still. Hope you get better soon and recover enough to come join us again. Alright, let's get back to the live action. It always helps if you click the right buttons. Sorry, tonight has been quite a rush to get up and running tonight, so it's an achievement to actually be running. I'm hoping that it's still running smooth enough. At the moment YouTube is complaining that it's not, so hopefully it's not too bad. And hello to everyone else in the YouTube comments. Of course, Rian van der Westhuizen is a regular commentator now that he's not a regular driver, so good to see you at least in the comments, Rian. And Lynn Sevenster, you're still there. Hello Lynn, good to have you here again. So looking forward to see what happens in the race with changing conditions. It's currently looking like it might be changing. I'm not sure if it's starting to get wet or if it's my imagination. It's certainly looking a little bit darker at the moment, which would mean the current lap times would surely stand as they are, because you're not going to be improving a track that's getting wet. So let's go have a look at the onboard shot from Jean-Andre Dupinal if we can. Getting a bit sideways there. Does not look like it's wet at all. Looks like he's struggling there. And have to save that. Wow, that was a real rodeo ride there. Sideways into one curb, pushed him onto the next curb, off the track, over the next curb, and then managing to hang on to it. As we see Chris Collison there. Is Chris going to improve on this lap? No, he's not. Not with the middle sector that is 1.1 seconds off. But Jason Underwood is on to improve. So Jandre Dupinard currently sitting second place. Chris Collison in third place. So 4 tenths, just over 4 tenths. Splitting the top 3. That's likely to be increased now. Going by the lap that Jason's currently on. Jason on to improve by at least 6 tenths. This is going to be a low 45. Getting just a nice amount of slide there to, I'm sure, right himself. So 45.9, he lost a lot in the final sector. Going through the kink now with Jandre Dupinard. Down to Crowthorne. As we change through to Chris Collison. Just coming down the S's, then through Leeuwkoop, and then the mine shaft. Now down to the Crocodiles. We're back on board, or back with Jason Underwood. An absolutely fantastic track. While we're doing this, I'm going to try and show you the track names, if I can get that quickly. Not too sure if that's going to work. I have just under 3 minutes of qualifying remaining. Not sure if that was Chris or if that was Jason. I believe that was Chris. It was actually Jason. Losing it, I guess, on the damp grass in the final sector, in the second last corner. Shows even Jason can lose it. Let me see if I can create this quickly while we are waiting for the final few to come through. Alright, let's show you the Kyalami names while we can. So there is the track layout. For those of you that don't know the Kyalami layout. So quite a difficult one to get quite right. So through Cheetah, down to Ingwa, one that I always find hard to pronounce. He's heading onto the straight now, and he'll then go through the kink as he comes across the line into the kink. Alright, so let's get rid of that. Sorry, that didn't come up in time and quite how I intended it to. But at least we can show that a little bit later, maybe. I can get it to go away now. Right. Right, let me just have a quick squiz and see if we have one available. Not yet. Alright, Jason coming across the line. Is he going to improve? He was fast in the middle sector but down by 2/10 in the final sector. In the meantime, Chris has stuck it in second place. And Chris does indeed improve. A 45.3 on that final lap. So Chris now almost a second shy of his teammate. Andre Duppenaar in third place. Then Jean-Andre Dutoy, then Bjorn Buchner taking 5th place, Andre Hildebrandt taking 6th place from Dani Stander in 7th, Marius van Wyk in 8th, and in 9th place we have Monet Dutoy, our final driver for the night, so a very quiet field tonight. Alright, let's now head off to the ad break and we will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone. I believe we are back at Kyalami for what looks like it could be a wet round. So before we head off to the grid and just see what all the drivers are up to, let's introduce everything. So this is the 2022 Porsche Supercup, proudly sponsored by Alwin Automotive Glass. I'm your host and commentator, Dennis Mitchell. Unfortunately, Sean Woodgate is not here yet. I'm not sure if he will make it at all. We are currently at round 3 of our 8-round championship, coming to you live from Kyalami in Gauteng. We've had a wet practice, looked like a dry qualifying. Now we're going to see what our weather conditions are for the race itself. So let's have a look at our schedule for this series. So we're currently round 3, round 4 will be around America, round 5 the Red Bull Ring, round 6 Suzuka, round 8 Marina, round 8 Zandvoordt. Alright, let's head over to the live footage. As we see the drivers pulling away, it certainly does not look like it is wet. Not too sure why. It's meant to be wet. It's meant to be a wet race that dries, and at the moment it does not look at all wet. So while the drivers are heading around, perhaps we can then bring up our overlays and we can have a look at the starting grid. So, Kyalami, round 3 of the 8-round championship round. In first place we have Jason Underwood. In second place we have Chris Collison. In third place Jandre Dippenaar. In fourth place Jandre de Toy. In fifth place Bjorn Buchner, who is not in his right car. In sixth place we have Andre Hildebrandt. In seventh place Dani Stander. In eighth place Marius van Wyk. And in ninth place Monet de Toy. Alright, so let's get up our timings so we know who's who and what's happening. As we see, I believe is that Jandre Dippenaar? Not too sure what was happening there. Jandre Dippenaar has headed back to the pits, and I'm not sure why that is. I certainly hope that's not a disconnect of any kind. So Jandre Dippenaar currently sitting in the pits. Perhaps he started on wet tyres expecting a wet race, as I'm sure most of these drivers were. And for some reason the server has decided to make it a dry, so maybe he's done the smart move and pitted straight away to fit the slicks to start from pit lane and might actually come out in front. If everyone else is on wet tyres, this could throw a spanner in the works, and there it is indeed, waiting at the end of pit lane. So this could be extremely interesting if the other drivers are indeed on wet tyres. The forecast was for a wet race start to be drying, and that hasn't happened. It was also forecast to be a wet qualifying, which also didn't happen. So the weather has certainly caught everyone out as we get ready to go. 3, 2, 1. And we're away. Right, eyes will definitely be on. Oh, we see contact at the start already. A slow getaway there by... Who was that? Jason Underwood. Chris Collison out in front at the moment, but coming under threat by Bjorn Buchner. Bjorn Buchner looking up the inside, but no, thinking better of it and going around the outside. We have Monet de Toy. You see a driver running wide. I believe that was Marius van Wyk. Right, where is Jandre Dippenaar? He is indeed in the race, so he had started from pit lane. I presume he had pitted to fit the right tyres. Let's see how the lap times compare. The drivers that might be on wet tyres could be struggling now. Right, so we'll keep an eye out for Jandre Dippenaar and see how close or how quickly he can close in on the back of Marius van Wyk in 8th place. So that was an unexpected start of the race, and I guess an unexpected qualifying result as well. Bjorn having a look up the inside of Monet de Toy there, but there was no space there. So Chris Collison currently heading the field. Monet de Toy in second. Bjorn Buchner looking very threatening in third there. Looking for any which way possible. See Chris running wide there. Is Monet going to be able to get the drive on him? Looks like Chris has covered it. gap has closed significantly thanks to that. Now from Monet being the attacker, or being attacked, he's now is the attacker. As we see, Andre Dupinot taking 2 in 1 there. So that's Mona de Toy and Morrison Vake busy fighting it out there. Andre Dupinot just saying thank you very much, I'll have those 2 positions. Let's keep an eye out on the lap times now. So currently Chris has set the fastest lap, although it's the first lap of a 1:55.6. So we'll see from lap 2 onwards how the lap times compare. And did Andre Dupinot make the best choice of all, going to pit now? If the other drivers are going to have to pit for the right tyres and the race does indeed dry, it certainly doesn't look great unless it's damp. So let's see what happens. Andre de Toy having a good look there. The back of Chris Collison. Bjorn Buchner still sitting close behind, and Jason Underwood now having a look at Bjorn Buchner. So I'm not sure what happened to the start for Jason, but coming back strong pretty quickly. So apologies if the stream is breaking up slightly. I'm seeing red lights here. Hopefully it clears itself and so all is well soon. Okay, it looks like the stream has cleared itself, so fingers crossed it's okay from here on. Jason behind 3 cars, this is something we've not seen before. So quite a nice battle for the front here, the 4-way battle. But we also have a battle further back, so perhaps we could go on board and see what's happening with Andre Hildebrandt. There's Andre Dupinot that has got past him. I'm not sure if he will drag Andre along with him. Looks like Jason has lost a bit of ground again to Bjorn Buchner, so I'm not sure if he made a move off camera and ran wide, or if he just made a mistake. See some nice sweeping lines of the drivers there. Look at them taking the wider line, and us taking the tighter line. Looks like a slight gap now developing between second and third. Not much, but just a little bit. It's no longer bumper to bumper, it's now probably a car length there. yellow in sector 2. I'm not sure what will be. Currently our fastest driver on track is indeed Jean-Andre Dupenard at 47.162. Over a second faster, almost a second faster than the current drivers in the front. With the pace he has at the moment, he can definitely catch because he's 12 seconds back from the lead and almost a second a lap faster. If these drivers are indeed on wet tyres, that could give him a huge advantage. I'm sure some of these drivers are cursing. They expected a wet start to end up in a dry start. We were expecting changeable conditions with pit stops and all sorts of exciting things happening. As you see, Jean-Andre Dupenard setting a new fastest lap of 47.0. We were expecting typical Joburg weather with thunder showers, but so far nothing, but perhaps it'll catch us later on in the race. We'll just have to see how it goes. And Bjorn making the move. Ooh, camera would go away just as there was a pass happening there. Jean-Andre Dupenard has made his way up to 5th place, but Bjorn Buchner had taken the move for 2nd place. Perhaps we can catch up to that and see what's happening there. And he's indeed still in 2nd place, defending now Jean-Andre du Toit. I get the two du Toits mixed up, so apologies for that. And now Jason will be a thing of a way to get past. Bjorn having a good go here today, currently 2nd place. What a fantastic round this will be for him. It looks like he's got the drive on Chris as well, so will he be going up the inside here? Going for the move, he is side by side. Of course that is the tighter line. Perhaps I can go on board with Chris. So he does indeed take back the place. Well, not take back the place, but take 1st place. So Chris Collinson now in 2nd place, and Jason has of course got past Jean-Andre du Toit while we were watching the battle at the front. So Bjorn Buchner leads his first round of the 2022 Porsche Supercup. This is fantastic for Bjorn. Team Gunston livery finally getting the airtime it deserves. That is a fantastic livery. Of course his teammate Andre Hildebrand currently in 7th place. From the next round we'll have to do a team championship points just so everyone can know who's where in the championship. Jason taking 2nd place from his teammate Chris Collison. So Bjorn Buchner will now come under threat from Jason. So Jean-Andre Dupenard is not catching at the rate that I was expecting him to. In fact, he's actually lost a little bit of time. As we see, Dani Stander off there at the moment. Not sure what happened with Dani or how it happened. We'll probably get to see a slight replay. Jason already having a look at Bjorn. Bjorn's going to have to make that car as wide as he can now. I'm sure Jason will just take his time. As you see the two team harder racing drivers with their lights blazing. Bjorn running slightly wide there. He knew that Jason was on the inside, gave him space, but unfortunately he's now put himself too wide and Jason has come past. But Bjorn comes back at the inside. So Jason not able to turn in with Bjorn being there, or just being smart and giving him the space. I'm sure Bjorn is loving this, fighting at the lead, at the front for the lead. Now again up the inside. Bjorn looks very solid on the brakes at the moment. Jason definitely seems to have the drive out of the corners, but he's just being a little bit tentative, being a bit more smart on the brakes, not to cause an incident, I presume. Make the cut back now. No, he doesn't. His teammate is still behind him, and now he's just being passed. So Chris Collison now down to 4th place and Jean-Louis de Toy up to 3rd place, as we see Bjorn losing the rear. Whoa, that was lucky. Saved it there. Will he now lose 2nd place though? He's lost a lot of drive. He is on the inside at least, but he's lost all ground to Jason Underwood at the moment. Choosing to take the wider, faster line, but unfortunately he's left himself open there and gets contact with himself and Chris. Now in a bit of a spin. There's unfortunately nowhere to go there. That's a shame for Bjorn Braun, having the best possible result of his sim experience career to suddenly being down in 4th place, which I believe is still possibly his best result. I think he might have had a podium somewhere along the line, possibly in the classic Porsches. I'm pretty sure he did. So at the moment, Jason Underwood from Jean-Louis de Toy from Chris Collison. Then we have Bjorn Bruckner, Jan-Red Dippenaar, then Andre Hildebrandt, Marius van Wijk, Monet de Toy and Dani Stander. Let me have a look at the YouTube comments. So I'm in a bit scarce looking at the comments. We have Caroline Yost. Good evening, Caroline. Good to see you here. And Sean. Hi, Sean. Good to see you here. Okay, Sean having struggles trying to find it on his phone. Sean, if you're in Discord, I can connect you via Discord chat and you can chat on your phone. It'd be wonderful even if you could only say a few words, but if you could on your phone in Discord join the rFactor channel, then I can, the voice channel, then I can actually drag you into the live commentary channel. So 15 minutes remaining. Dani Stander now under threat. Well, actually has just got past Marius van Wijk, although, no, sorry, that's not Marius van Wijk, that is, it is Monet de Toy. I'm getting confused. From behind it looked a little bit like Marius van Wijk's car. As we see Chris Collison again closing down. Will he be able to make it a 1-2 for Team Harder Racing? Looks to have struggled in the first phase of the race, but maybe his tyres are now coming good. I'm not sure what tyre choices everyone is on. I'm presuming we have some drivers that are on wet tyres, and obviously we don't want to be on wet tyres at the moment. Back having a look at Andre Hildebrandt. Let's see two of them having a good battle here. different lines there. Andre going wide. Mario's taking a tighter line in. Okay, so Sean is in on his laptop on Discord. Okay, Sean, if you can scroll down in Discord till you see voice channels and just click on the rFactor one, you'll see the drivers there, and from there I can then pull you into the chat. We're eagerly looking forward to having Sean's commentary with us. I'm just pausing slightly, hoping that I can drag him into the commentary booth, but I'm not sure if I can if he's not in any chat rooms at the moment. Sure, I'm not sure if you're able to find the voice channels, but in Discord on the left hand side you have all the different channels, and if you scroll down you'll see there's a list of different events, and if you keep scrolling past the events you will then near the bottom see all the voice channels. If you click on the right voice channel, any of the voice channels, you will then appear in a voice group, and I can then from that point drag you to join me. But you should also be able to see me in the channel and come join me. Right, let's go back to the race. So currently in the front we have... Why is Jason Underwood not in the front? What have I been doing that I have missed this? Apologies for that. All the action happening, I'm too busy looking elsewhere. So Jean de Toy currently in the lead from Jason Underwood. Chris Collison in third and Glenn Whitney in fourth. Andre Dupinay has slowly been coming forward, only 4 seconds behind now. Rose van Dijk currently in 6th place, so the battle with himself and Andre Hildebrandt is still going on. As we see Jason up the inside, side by side by the looks of things, but no, manages to get the place back. Let's go on board then perhaps with Andre Hildebrandt. Yeah, that gap has extended, so it's not as close as I was expecting it. I gather he's made a mistake in the last sector because that was a lot closer a moment ago. Look at Bjorn Hoekner's point of view. We are 4th place, so 3rd, 2nd and 1st going to be in front of us. Chris Collison, John Victoria and Jason Underwood. Perhaps what we could do while we are waiting for Sean is go join live with the drivers in the voice chat. I'm not sure if it's safe to do that, if there's any incidents and we catch them off guard. But it could be quite fun to have live commentary from the drivers during a race. Unfortunately, it might put some of the drivers off, so it is an option, but perhaps we'll wait for now. We won't do that just yet. So Sean, currently you've posted a chat in the chat room, which is right near the top of the Discord. That's under the general tab. You need to scroll down, you'll get Sim Chat, and then you'll get MX5, and then you'll get the Porsche Cup, you'll get downloads, tracks, work in progress, and then you'll get the voice channels. And in the voice channels, you can just click on rFactor 2, and then you'll be in the voice chat. So the conditions clearly clearing up. So much for it raining. It was just overcast, never mind any rain. And the yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not too sure who has caused that, because at the moment we can see certainly the top 5 drivers. So Jason Underwood is just clearing off at the moment. So the threat of rain looked like it might change the pecking order slightly, but it didn't happen, and Jason has stayed out in front. Still a solid showing tonight from Bjorn Buchner. Knock up there by Chris Collison on last round. Chris was having all sorts of issues with his hardware. Once again locking up. I wonder if he's having issues again. I certainly hope not, for his sake. And we have Sean in commentary, so I'm going to bring Sean over in here. So good evening and welcome, Sean. Welcome to the live commentary. Let's try that again. Good evening, Sean, and welcome to the live commentary. I'm not sure if you can hear me yet, Sean. But you are live, so once you can, if you speak up, we will be able to hear you. You see Bjorn Buchner having... Good evening, Sean. How are you doing?
Right, what a privilege it is, certainly getting myself sorted out. It looks as though... Right, let me just see if I can...
You're sort of breaking up and going away, so I'm not sure if your microphone is set to be permanently on, or if it's maybe set to listen to you speaking, but perhaps it needs to be changed.
Doing great, thank you, Dennis.
So,
just get my volume turned down, but I'm sure that you will need to adjust at your end.
our end, you're actually sounding perfect at the moment. So Sean, once you've got yourself sorted out there, perhaps you could give us a little bit of information about yourself for our viewers.
Yes, certainly sim racing is something very new to me. I've been around in actual trackside commentary since 1995, and I've done circuits like Kyalami, Zandvoort, Midval, Velkom.
Quite a good selection of the local tracks, yes. You seem to have disappeared, Sean, so I'm not sure why, but I hope you can still hear me. So Sean, if you're talking and I cut you off, sorry, apologies. I'm just going to let the viewers know that unfortunately due to our technical issues this week, we weren't able to prepare you correctly for tonight's event, so unfortunately you've joined us late and this is very on the fly live troubleshooting with your first time joining us. As you see a great move here between, I believe that's Bjorn and Marius van Wyk. Bjorn going up the inside of Marius van Wyk. So Bjorn having had some issues, it sounded like probably gearbox issues. He got going again and now he's worked his way back up to 5th place. And now getting all kinds of traction loss there. Marius taking the place back, so I'm not sure if Bjorn is having any kinds of issues. Last week we saw Chris Collison with brake issues. Perhaps Bjorn has some kind of issue tonight as well. Sean, are you there? Oh, no, you're muted. Alright, so Sean's microphone, you have muted your microphone at the moment. So I'm going to just chat in the meantime until you are unmuted, then I know it's all clear. Well, it's good to have Sean joining us tonight, even if it's not much being said. But Sean, you are unmuted again, so welcome back. Hopefully you can hear us now. So Yandre Duppenaar has now worked his way up to 3rd place, so a nice podium as he's coming strong in the race. I'm not sure, we'll find out I guess in the interview since he is now top 3. Possibly the only driver on slick tyres. Slight lock up there for him as well. Definitely seems to be pretty solid, and at the moment there's only half a minute left, so he might steal 2nd place, but I don't think he's going to have enough to catch Jason Underwood. As we see Andre Hildebrandt and Marius van Wyk. Earlier I thought it was Bjorn Buchner and Marius van Wyk. I'm not sure if it was, but perhaps Marius van Wyk has moved his way back because he's now fighting with the other Team Dunstan car. Of course, Team Dunstan colours is something that yourself, Sean, would be very familiar with in local racing. Right, and my time has reached the 0 mark, so drivers on this lap will finish the lap and come across the line, and that'll be it. See Jason Underwood now in the final sector. 1 corner to go. Corner that I cannot pronounce clearly. Jason does indeed come across the line now to take the win, his 3rd win of the championship. Headlights flashing.
Might just be in time for the finish.
Yes, welcome back, Sean, and in time for a collision between the two drivers. I believe that's Bjorn Buchner and Chris Collison coming together.
Yeah, certainly is.
So Chris Collison coming off base there. I'm not too sure what had happened. We only caught the tail end of it.
Ingwe.
That's it, the one that I can never pronounce. And I believe that's Marius van Wyk and Andre Hildebrandt now coming across the line. So now we just wait for Dani Stander and Monet du Toit. The sun definitely shining this time of day. Unfortunately, Dani Stander not having the greatest of rounds. Dani Stander is the son-in-law of Harvey Goos. You're familiar with Harvey Goos?
Yes, Harvey I've known for decades, as I said in the last race out of Formula V racing. He's raced many cars, and certainly whoever was thinking of rain those chances have disappeared.
Yes, indeed. I guess we'll find out now if the drivers are caught out and we're on the wrong tyres. But it certainly didn't look too bad. But Yandre Dippenaar was the only driver that pitted at the start, I presume to change to the slick tyres, and he certainly came strong in the race. But we'll find out in a moment. So I'm just going to head off to an ad break, and then we can drag some of the drivers in with us and have a bit of a chat with them. All right, welcome back everybody to the 2022 Porsche Super Cup interviews, proudly brought to you by Alwin Automotive Glass. We have our top three drivers with us tonight. We're also joined by Sean Woodgate for the commentary. Unfortunately, due to the issues we've had this week, Sean has joined us late, but at least Sean has managed to join us, so good to have you with us, Sean.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Certainly something for me to get used to, but I suppose it'll go better when we have a bit of time to sort things out next time.
Yes, indeed. Fingers crossed it goes smoothly next time. All
Yeah,
right.
I've got the audio sorted, but now I'm not watching anything in front of me, but I'm sure next time we'll get them both.
Perfect. All right, so we have our top three drivers with us at the moment. Jason Underwood in first place, Jean-Ray de Toy in second place, and Jan-Ray Dippenaar in third place. So let's start off with Jason Underwood. So Jason, tonight's round didn't quite go to plan. We were expecting it to be pouring with rain, drying, and unfortunately it ended up being pretty much just an overcast race clearing. So there was no rain whatsoever. Did you by any chance get caught out by the wet weather, the lack of wet weather?
Well, yeah, kind of. Been practicing in Joburg thunderstorms for the last week, and they never arrived. So, dry practice was not as much as what it should be. But we're racing drivers at the end of the day, and we've got to adapt. And yeah, so other than that, it was okay.
We have a comment by Peter Hubert in the YouTube channel asking what lap times were the drivers doing. What was your fastest lap time in the race? Can you remember? I think it was a 46 something if I was correct, or was it lower?
45.3.
45.3. All right, well there we have
Yeah.
it. 45.3. I was expecting sort of 52s roughly there in the wet weather, and instead we have dry weather lap times.
Yeah.
All right, then let's head to second place. So a very, very different round tonight with the expected weather not being the weather we got, and in the end we had quite a exciting battle. So Jason, you had a bit of a bad start and worked your way forward, so I'm not sure we will get back to you about your start. Then Jean-Ray, you had quite an exciting race at the front for a long time there. We even had Bjorn Buchner in the mix there for a while as well. So what was the race like for you? Were you by any chance caught out by the weather not being wet like we were expecting it to be?
Yeah, in practice, I saw Jason's and Andre's time on the dry, and they were like 2 to 3 seconds ahead of me. And in the wet, I managed to only be a second behind them. So when I saw the race was dry, I was a bit worried because I couldn't keep up with their times. But yeah, I think it well. Bjorn came blasting by at some point. I don't know what engine he had in his car. But then he took first place, and I could keep up with Chris quite well. And then I think they had an incident, and then Jason came flying by later on. But it was an exciting race. I liked it.
Yeah, it was strange because Bjorn definitely seemed to come on fire, but then shortly after that he seemed to have what looked like possibly gearbox issues. We saw a shot of him struggling to find gears, so I'm not sure if he had a gearbox or a clutch issue, and then he got going again and he slowly worked his way back up to fifth place, I believe. But good to see Bjorn showing some pace there and giving you guys a bit of a run for your money at the front.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in third place we have Jan-Ray Dippenaar. That was a good race for you. You pitted right at the start of the race. I'm not sure if that was when you were changing for tyres. Perhaps you'd hit start on wet tyres and then decided to change. But what was your reason for pitting at the start of the race?
What happened there is I lost the FFP on my wheel. So I decided I will start from the pits. While I did that, my VR went dead. So I needed to get that fixed also. Yeah, and then from there on it was coming from the back.
Well, it was quite an exciting drive because you certainly had the pace, and I was kind of assuming that you were the only driver on slick tyres at the time, but clearly you weren't, and thinking that was the reason for your pace. But no, your pace was just genuinely good. So it's a shame that you had those issues at the start. But for future reference, if you lose your force feedback, you can actually map a button in the game to reset it. So you should do that, and then hopefully that won't catch you out again.
You won't believe me. I told my team earlier this week, all of them, there's the button, because it happened to one of them last race. And somehow I did not do it myself.
Yeah, that's ironic.
Yeah.
Anyway, at least you got a solid position and a nice podium, so all your supporters are very happy. And good to see PZN panel beaters doing a good job again.
Yeah, well, we had a rally also this weekend that didn't go too well. Both of our cars broke down, so at least we got something right this weekend.
Yes, so at least you got some podium.
Yes.
All right, then perhaps we can head over to Sean, since Sean is with us. If Sean would like to ask the drivers anything, perhaps?
We managed to hear what the fastest times were in the race. What was the actual fastest qualifying time and the delta between the two?
Jason, perhaps you could answer that because you had the fastest time.
It was a 1:45.5 for qualifying.
Okay, so you
So
actually went
it
faster
was-
in the race.
Yeah, it went 2 tenths faster in the race.
Okay, and what
Okay,
was the
so then-
delta to second place?
It's 8 tenths of a second, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, and then Sean, any other questions for the drivers?
Yeah, I was actually looking, by the time I joined, there were 4 cars, I think, within less than 2 seconds fighting for the lead. And then somehow they just managed to disrupt the race for themselves. I can imagine racing in real conditions that these things happen. But how do you actually pick yourself up and get going again if you've made a mistake in sim racing?
Who would you like to direct the question to?
Let's have a look who finished third, Jandre. What mistakes do you think you made, and what lessons do you have you learned that you're going to try and improve on for the next race?
Well, one of the mistakes was not mapping that button for the reset of the FFP. And yeah, if you get it in an accident like Bjorn and Chris did, you must just go on. Doesn't help you sit and crying. You must just go on and see what you can do.
Oh, great stuff. Compared to the race I watched previously, this appeared to be a small field. Maybe a question directed at you, Dennis. Do you think that was due to the maladies you had during the week, that the people were possibly not quite prepared to go racing this evening?
Yes, unfortunately, we've had server issues this week, so we've been down for probably more than half the week. And as a result, a lot of the drivers weren't able to get any practice in. Some of the drivers only practice on the server. They don't want to practice offline because they want to practice on the official server so they have the conditions correct. But unfortunately, with it being down and then coming only back on with mere hours to go before the event, it's caught a lot of guys off guard, unfortunately. And then I think maybe also, the threat of rain maybe turned some guys away. Some drivers maybe just not interested in doing a wet race. Hopefully not, but that could also have been part of it.
And then just a personal question, now that I've caught up that I'm on the round at the right place at the right time with the voice, because I see it appear to be a lag at some stage. Is the voice acceptable as it's coming through at the moment?
Yes, on my end it sounds perfect, yes.
Okay, I was just wondering whether I have a headset and a small gaming microphone that I have that I use at the moment, but I use it for business as well. And there's been no complaints for that. I was just wondering whether it's going to serve its purpose here.
Yeah, when you first joined during the actual stream itself, you were breaking up a bit, but that seems fine now. That seems to have been rectified. So whatever you've done, it seems to have sorted it.
Okay, great stuff.
All right, then perhaps we could close out by giving the drivers a final chance to do any shout-outs for their teammates, sponsors, or any family members. So let's head to Jason first. Jason, any shout-outs from your side?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, obviously, to all the support back home in South Africa, to everybody that's supporting over here in the UK. It's appreciated. To my teammate, Chris, tough race, son, but we bounce back and we come back stronger. There's good momentum going. And thank you to Dennis, and welcome to Sean. Good to have you on board.
Thank you very much. And then to Jandre, anything from your point of view?
No, I'd just like to thank my team. I think the team is doing really well. Considering one of our fastest drivers wasn't even here today. So yeah, thanks to them, and thanks to you for organizing it.
Always a pleasure, and well done again. And hopefully we see them at the following round, which is Road America. So they are familiar with Road America. So hopefully they will be gracing us for that round.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jandre, your turn. Any shout-outs from your point of view for your teammate, for your friends, for your family?
I think he left.
He's disconnected.
Yes. Okay. I guess that's it then. All right. And then let's do a final shout-out for Sean. Sean, it's been fantastic to have you finally join us. Hopefully you'll be joining us for the rest of the rounds and for other series that we do. The next round will be from Road America. So I'm not sure if you're at all familiar with Road America, but it's a pretty fast and flowing, one of the nicest American tracks, used mostly for endurance style racing and for their superbike series that they run, and also some of the Formula series. They do a Formula 3 series there, they do a Formula 4 series there, and they do an IndyCar series there. So that will be our next round for round 4. So while we are just discussing that, perhaps you can just let me know if you're at all familiar with it. I'll just put our schedule up as well on the screen.
I'll find it. I actually have a picture of Kyalami because the names of the corners have changed since I've last commentated at Kyalami, but you get used to the layout pretty quickly, and then it's just the shall I say, the finish and the first few corners that have changed names, and then what we used to know as the bowl is now the crocodiles. So with Road America, I'm sure I'll be able to find it as well. And to those of the drivers just that didn't enter for tonight, and some of the drivers that did get points unexpectedly, you've got to be in it to win it, and you have to first finish to finish first.
Exactly. So the drivers that pitch up here regularly are the drivers that will always be high up in the points. And certainly with our point structure being the way it is, it's going to be very difficult for the drivers to make up if they're not here. We do drop your worst round. So at the end of the 8 rounds, only your top 7 rounds will count towards your points. But if you're not here for more than one of the rounds, it's going to be extremely difficult to make any points up because it's only 2 points per position, the gap. So that's extremely difficult. There's an extra point for pole position and there's an extra point for the fastest lap. Otherwise, that's it. So very, very difficult. Also, I think some of the tracks are maybe not as easy to pass on, and the faster tracks, maybe Road America won't be as bad because of the nature of the corners, but some of the faster tracks like Monza, the guys definitely had a hard time with this particular car, the way that you have to blip the throttle on the downshift. Coming from a high speed into a tight hairpin corner into turn 1 there at Monza, very, very difficult. Maybe not as much of a problem around here. In the wet it might have been at Kyalami, but Road America might be a different story. It's more fast, it's flowing. I think the drivers are more familiar with it, so that could be quite exciting. And then we also have the Red Bull Ring, which is also a fast track, but also fairly tight corners, but fast. And then we have Suzuka. I think Suzuka is going to be an exciting one because it's very fast and flowing. Sector 1 is really nice going through the S's there. And then we'll have our very first night race at the Marina circuit. So we'll start in the daylight and end in the night. It'll be the first time the drivers will be driving under floodlights. So that will be a first for, I think, majority of our field. And then we'll be ending at Zandvoort, another awesome track. And I think that would probably be the track that the drivers are the most familiar with because we did our pre-season testing at Zandvoort and they all got a good feel for the cars there.
Great. I think everybody else has left. And not to bore them with my inadequacies with the Discord, I've got you and me up on the live broadcasting at the moment, but I can see on my YouTube, which is running on my phone next to me, that as you popped up the schedule for the rest of the year, that's still going around the track.
Yes.
So the challenge to me now is to get that on live on Discord while I keep the commentary live as well. And maybe that'll be the hurdle that I don't have to face next time round.
Yes, that will be something that we can tackle for the next round with a bit of time to prepare, hopefully.
Yes, now I'll join half. I don't know how much time they spend in practice. Then maybe you and I can sort it out in the half hour or so before the race itself.
Yes, I think that would be awesome. Or even during the week sometime we can jump on and sort all that out. That would be wonderful.
Okay, great, Dennis. I'm just glad that my voice sounds semi-decent. As I say, I haven't commentated for quite a while. But commentary is commentary. It's, to me, nothing new. And Kyalami wasn't... Luckily, I could help you out with the one corner name. And there's a bit of a history that one of the things I used to do competitively was deep-sea fishing. And the one year that we had the championships out of Walvis Bay, Western Province arrived with a boat called Ingwe. So that's where I know that one from.
So that's how you know how to pronounce it as well.
I think it's actually a bird. But, one can research anything on Google.
Yes, I think we need to do some more Googling. I'm not good at remembering track names. Unless I've raced at the track, I find it a lot harder to remember the name.
Yeah, I can help you with Zandvoort, with Honserich and Tausendbocht and things like that. Yeah, Arie Leyendijk Bocht and all of those. And then tell you who Arie Leyendijk was and that sort of thing. But that'll be an interesting one. I think second to actually the last race.
That's the last
of the-
race, yes.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I look forward to it.
all right,
So
that would
next week
be
we
awesome.
are at Road America.
Yes, we'll catch you all next week then at Road America. So until then, have a good week and hopefully we won't have any technical issues. And we will all see you then next week at Road America. Good evening, everyone.
Cheers, everybody.